Hey there, and welcome to my bad hygiene tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll show you guys how to set up a colony which includes bathing rooms, toilets, and a water supply which is just working out fine. During the first 5 minutes of this video, I'll show you guys how to start out with a very basic setup in case you're just wondering how to start this whole situation. And after these 5 minutes, or approximately 5 minutes, I'm going to explain deeper what you're capable of and how the more complex setups will work. Okay, so let's get right started. The thing I'm building first is a setup which will be working if you're starting at a tribal with a tribal start, and or a colony which has no power or a very bare bones start. So to use that, the most basic things for your colonists are the primitive well, which can be built out of very different materials. You can use stone, metals, and wood. And the primitive well, you're seeing here the water card, has to be built somewhere where the water is good. So I'm not going to build a primitive well because I have one in my colony here. And for the sake of explanations, this is going to be the primitive well. From there, your people will get their water. It's the most basic way to get water. This water can be used in water tubs. This is some place where your people will wash themselves and fulfill their hygiene need, and place down as many of these as you can. Like water tubs in the beginning of the game, don't place them only near the sleeping spots of your colonies. Like you see here in my workshop, I'm still having one, so if my people get dirty they can wash themselves. And inside the toilets and everywhere you need it, place them down in case you're not having access to better facilities. So this is only for the washing purposes. The next real basic thing is the latrine, and this is where the bladder and I don't think I need to explain how a latrine works to you guys. So you can place them down wherever you want to. The most important thing about that is your colonists want some private space. The mod introduces stall doors, which only work as a vision blocker, like nobody will see what Kim's doing in there, but if you look at the room description here, this is still one room. That's that. So it's just there that Kim has her privacy. And these three things will be all your colonists need to keep themselves tidy and everything. But the latrine will fill its pit at some point and will produce feces. Feces will pollute the room where they're stored quite heavily. So denounce some room where the stuff can be stored. Like here I have this outdoors room. The pollution depicts itself by decreasing the dirt ratio by something like -200 or such, and according to the text, your people get ill if they stay next to it. I don't know if that's right, but whatever. To get rid of feces during in a very basic setup, you'll need next the burn pit. The burn pit is some place where your people will start burning the poop they produced, and you can see this thing has a fuel ratio, so each pit can burn 250 units of poop, and yeah, you're going to need as many burn pits as your colony is producing poop. I can't really say how many these will be. This colony with these people needed at its best time 4 of them. So one good side about the burn pits, though, you can cremate corpses in there, which is a very nice thing. You have an early game way to get rid of corpses due to the bad hygiene mod. You're not only getting work, you're also getting benefits. And that's that. That's the most basic setup for the bad hygiene mod. And if you were just looking for somehow to get this thing started without your people getting diarrhea and everything, that's that. Problem solved. But this is, of course, not really something for long-term uses. Like you can see here, I'm having here a little bit more modernized areas, but during this tutorial we're going to build a complete new area over here. So I already prepared a little something there. So basically, these are the primitive wells. The more modern wells are the water wells, which tap into the water underground, just like the other ones, but your colonists can't grab water out there manually anymore. But as you can see here, there's no text at all. Here you see the ground capacity, how many liters of water the ground can provide per day, and how much pipe water stored. Yeah, whatever. As you can see, I'm having here a unit of plumbing, and you're building those in the hygiene area here. Plumbing can be also made out of various different things, and the plumbing rolls all the way over here. As you can see, you can pull it through walls so nobody sees it, and ultimately the water pump is tagged into the steel water towers. But to get the water out of the ground, you'll need wind pumps. Wind pumps are working just as your wind turbine. They catch the wind and they pump the water. The water has to be led into somewhere where water can be stored. Here I'm using water towers, the smaller cousin of that being the water butt, which is a little bit of a smaller capacity thing. So that's that. This is how to get water for your bigger arrays. And when you connect the plumbing to a latrine, you see it connects automatically, and now from there on the latrine will try to get its water out of the water tanks, as you can see it here, and at the same time the dirt will be let through these pipes as well, and it'll need a sewage outlet where the dirt will be poured out. Like in the basic setup, you're getting the feces as some barrel you're having stored somewhere. With the sewage outlet, you're just spreading it somewhere where it's polluting the ground. One important thing though, don't spread the sewage directly next to your pump like I did it here. That's actually wrong. That's why I'm correcting it in the future, but for now I did something else. You can also research septic tanks and later on sewage treatment, which will treat the dirty water. So septic tanks treat 50 liters of poop per day, and as you can see, I've arrayed 3 of them in a row, but it's still not quite enough. My sewage outlet is letting out the rest of that, so maybe I should expand that later. Okay. So that's that. I already installed it here. I'm using the latrines here, and as soon as you're having flowing water, like I explained it here, there's also the option to install basins. Basins are the more efficient version of the water tub, which get their water out of the plumbing just like the latrine. So you can safely connect all these. There's no differentiation between inflow and outflow like in other games it would be, but Rimworld keeps it quite simple here. So I just connected the plumbing with a basin, and from there on my people get to the basin, wash their hands there, and the downside about water tubs is the water has to be replaced manually, like when refilling a generator or such. So that's that. Okay. But now we're going to construct something new today, because I felt like now you know the basics. Same goes for the bathtub. Bathtub only needs a connection to the plumbing, and then it gets the water which your people need. And here you see Jackie getting comfy in the bathtub. And bathtubs in its own are, first off, not comfortable for your people, because I'm going to let the time run here, because I want to build here later. Bathtubs are cold on its own, and you need heating to make them really comfy. Heating is quite simple. You're going to need a boiler which produces heat. That can be an electric boiler, a gas boiler if you want to use camp fuel, or where is it? A log boiler if you want to burn wood. I'm not seeing it right here right now. Or where's the log boiler? He is somewhere. Ah, there he is. Okay, which will produce the heat out of wood. And then you connect the boiler next to a hot water tank, which will store the hot water for later use. And if there's hot water, the bathtub will be connected. And the mod also tells you how many heating units there are available by every boiler. And if I remember correctly, here's not calling out how many heating units it takes, but heating units are a new unit the Bad Hygiene mod introduces. So I'm going to build a little extra room here. Who's my main constructor right now? I keep forgetting that. Wes and Kim, of course. So that's that. So now I already explained the basics, and I think with that you're knowing all you need to know to put up a normal basic functioning hygiene array for your colony. It's getting a little bit more deep once you're having more technologies there. Oops, that was the wrong button, I'm sorry. And those modern bathroom fixtures, they're all working quite similar, like the things I just explained to you. But I felt like I wanted to do them one more time so you see how everything works while building it in action, because I think that would be a quite nice experience. So, but overall, I've explained pretty much everything. Right here, the toilets and the showers, they all work like the same, like with the same concept I just explained before. You need some water source to connect it to. You need some water storage where it where the water source stores the gained water, and then you need some plumbing to direct the water where you want it to. And then you just need to take care of the outputs if there are any. Like basins and bathtubs don't produce dirt by themselves. It's only the the toilets and such producing really waste. And after that, everything pretty much works the same. These are only parts which are getting more and more efficient. There's one thing though which is worth mentioning again. That is here, the multi-split air conditioning. That's a new thing the mod introduces. I haven't researched it for this tutorial yet, but it's not really necessary to explain to you how this works. With this technology, you're able to put plumbings basically between this. You're having here on a cooler a direct output of cool air into this direction and hot air into this direction, and this technology would allow us to place coolers inside somewhere and lead out the hot air to outside. This is a very, very vital system for indoors colonies, and I think I'm going to explain that during a other tutorial later on, because I feel like this would really bust the borders of this little tutorial, because the air conditioning is not really complex in its own, but if I had a little, like a little mountain base or such to show you guys how it works, it would be very, very nice. So we're now building a little something because I felt like I wanted to do one new thing for you friends, and that's installing an electric pump here. I'm going to have this as a replacement for the water well. Or no, that's wrong. The pump is replacing the wind pump. That's how it's working. Sorry. See, I'm already confusing myself a little. There was a little mad dromedary in between, but that was not really a problem there. So, with this instrument, we're going to put the water out of the ground when there's no wind at all. That's quite useful. So, I've had in mind to produce this area here as, to set up this area here as a little bathing room and shower complex. I don't want to complete it entirely during this tutorial. I just wanted to show you once how things are being built with this mod. Because I've explained everything, but I guess seeing how things are built is also quite useful. So, and this colony expanded to the place that these sanitary options are not enough anymore, so I needed a new one anyways. So first off, we're starting with the plumbing and the walls, of course. I'm going to order Wes to get working on the electric pump here. And my friends, this is not a roof area. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to line the plumbing through the walls here, so it's just a cosmetic decision, but I like it more this way. Alright. There we go. Luckily, I'm having a lot of people available to work here, so we're getting things done quite quickly. Alright, so basically, quickly set up, we're going to pick up a toilet here. I'm going to make my toilets out of, well, I guess I'll take steel for now because I have some of those. So I'm going to put the toilet up here. It's connected to the plumbing, and I'm going to set up a basin here, and we're going to mine away that rock here so it's not going to interfere. In this room I'm going to use for the hot water generation, so I'm going to set up a boiler here. And I'm going to connect him with a hot water tank. Where is it at? There. And next up is going to be a little shower here. And... oh, I don't want a wooden shower. That's really not cool. So we're going to have a steel shower in here, or a bathtub for the people that want some relaxation. Okay. And that's that. This is already a working array. Like, we're having everything we need. The water is getting pumped from the water towers over here. The toilets is working, and yeah. Now Wes is installing the other things here. And yeah, that's how it works. You can do a few more things with it, like building even a swimming pool, or just like simple showers. And you see here, this is how it looks like if it's done not correctly. There's a missing unit of plumbing here, so we're going to drop it there. And that's that. So I hope this helped out you guys to understand how things work here. Like, everything works the same. Even the swimming pool only needs a plumbing connection, and the heatings and the heating things are working quite the same. Everything which uses heat states how many heating units it'll need, and the rest is being read out of the descriptions. You just need to provide enough heating units to get this thing rolling here. So here the boiler hasn't been built yet, but that's pretty much it. If you want to do air conditioning, I'm going to do another deeper tutorial about that. But yeah, feel free to drop me a comment. I would deeply appreciate any form of thumbs up or subscriptions to my channel if you want to support me a little bit more, but I don't mind if you don't. So, see you guys next time, and I hope it helped.